There are some cars which are close to my heart, then there are some cars which are close to everybody's heart. This is the Delorean Dmc-12, and today I feel like a big kid.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious... 88 miles per hour!
So this car was made famous by Doc Brown and Marty McFly in the Back to the Future movies to travel back and forward in time. But as a car, this is actually really interesting. Up front here is where you put all your things because the engine is at the back. In the middle, we have the coolest kind of doors that you get on any car ever in the history of the world. Look at that, gull-wing doors. And then at the back here, the engine was meant to go in the middle, but that didn't really work out, so they put it at the back. So it's actually a rear-engined car. Now, they tried a few different engines, but eventually they settled on a 2.8-litre V6, which they got from Peugeot, Renault, Volvo. So that makes this an American car with a French-Swedish engine built in Ireland.
This particular car is the only running DMC-12 that we know of in the country.
The Delorean Story is a really glamorous one, but underneath the surface, it's actually a story of some really unfortunate cars. The alternator, for instance, that they first fitted to the car couldn't keep up with the demands of things like the headlights, so the car would run out of electricity, which happened to the person who invested in the car. Another of the investors was Sammy Davis Jr., so it had a bit of a Hollywood aspiration as well, but unfortunately the car was never really the supercar it was intended to be. By the time they engineered the whole thing and were about to start producing it, they realized they actually couldn't make it. So they gave the whole thing to Colin Chapman at Lotus, and he managed to fix everything. They ended up with a 2.85-litre engine, which is sitting at the back there, which they borrowed from France. And that only had 110 kilowatts. It was meant to have 150, so it was slower than it was meant to be as well. And by the time they got it to America, the safety authorities there made them fit a catalytic converter, and that robbed the engine of more power. So by the time it actually went on sale, the DeLorean was a bit of a failure.
Just 9,000 were built before the struggling company's closure was forced when the founder was entangled in a drug trafficking scandal.
Now you'll notice that it has the tiniest windows, and that's because all of this glass simply cannot fit in the door. And John DeLorean, the man who came up with this car and built the company that eventually built it, was a really tall guy, so he designed the car for really tall people. Then they realized that short people couldn't reach the door, so they had to make these straps made so you could open and close it. Getting out of the car is a little tricky, especially because of where they've put the handbrake. And the owner keeps a bottle of baby oil in the car, and that's because the panels are all made out of brushed stainless steel. And the best way to shine them up is with a little bit of this.
The good news is the owner doesn't keep this gem hidden away. He proudly drives it around Cape Town, so you might just be lucky enough to spot it before it disappears into the past.
Look at this, a very rare thing indeed. A DMC-12 owner's handbook. And under the introduction, it says, "We would like to take the opportunity to thank you for selecting a DeLorean motor car and to wish you many happy years of trouble-free motoring." Unfortunately, just 2 years after they put the car into production, the whole company went bust. But there's good news, because a nerd in America with a lot of money bought everything, the whole company, all the old cars and all the old parts. So for about $60,000, you can still order this piece of motoring history.